Hey guys, welcome back to another video by Fully Informed Trade, or FiTrade for short, knowledge for everyone. My name is Alex Cho, and today I am just going to talk about the second part in our series of Investing 101. What is not investing? Investing isn't gambling. Investing isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. Investing does not lead to overnight success. And above all, investing is not about who earns the most money. The difference between investing and gambling. In a casino, the odds are predetermined, and you have no control over improving your likelihood of success. In investing, the odds are not predetermined, and you do have control over the likelihood of your success with both research and sound judgment. So basically, in a casino, no matter how you approach that slot machine, in the end, you're going to lose money. You can only do so much. But the odds are always predetermined no matter what casino you go to, no matter what games you play, outside of poker, but all the other casino games will always put the casino at an advantage in terms of money. Now let's say you go in and invest your money. Well, the advantage of investing your money is that your odds are not determined for you. In fact, you determine the odds. The odds don't determine you. You do have control over your success because you can control both what you buy, when you buy it, and you can also determine what you're going to buy based on both research and your own judgment. So therefore, investing is much better than gambling at any casino or at any lottery or lottery ticket or anything like that. Investing is always the better choice, at least in my own opinion. Investment get rich quick. Alright, so if you ever walk down the finance aisle, you notice that there are a ton of books claiming how you can become a millionaire. Can investing make you a millionaire? The answer is yes, but it typically takes longer than what any type of program will advertise. The time it takes will depend on two factors: how much you invest and your rate of compounding. So that's the time it will take. Okay, so again, over time, of course, everybody can become rich in investing. But if you want to determine who's going to become rich faster, you have to look at the amount you're starting with and the rate at which you're compounding. And we'll talk more about compounding in another video. Why invest? For the past century, many people have come to rely on pension plans, Social Security, and various other forms of retirement. However, our government, the U.S. government, is heavily in debt, and those retirement programs are being underfunded, which means you will have less money in retirement. The money you have contributed in the past has diminished due to factors such as inflation. So, right now, pension plans are being underfunded. And the main reason this happens is because our government has not managed their money very well. So that may mean that in the future, when you receive your money, the value that you're going to get from your Social Security program is going to be less. Now, for those who don't know what a pension plan is, a pension plan is basically where a company says, we are going to pay you money when you retire, a set amount every single month. A lot of companies these days are no longer offering pension plans, so we cannot rely on a pension plan for our retirement anymore. And for that matter, a retirement is basically where at the end of your long career, you stop working and you sit back and relax. Social Security. Social Security is basically where you take a portion of your money from your paycheck every single month and contribute it to a fund, and later on, 20, 30, 40 years down the road, when you eventually retire at the age of 72 to 65 years old, or maybe less if you decide to retire even earlier, you will receive that Social Security as added income so that you can retire. But again, going back to the previous point, our government is going to have trouble paying the Social Security as our government is heavily in debt and it may end up cutting back on those programs. And as for inflation, inflation is basically, let's say you could buy one tomato in the past for 10 pennies or 10 cents in 1950. Well, currently a typical tomato costs $1 to $2 in 2012. Fast forward 50 years from now, perhaps the price of a tomato can go all the way up to $10. So every time you contribute money currently into your Social Security, that money may become inadequate when you access it later on 50 years down the road when you retire. Responsibility of planning. Many countries in the developed markets have shifted the responsibility of investment planning or retirement planning onto the taxpayer and away from the government. There are many politicians who come into office, primarily the presidential election, claiming they will protect your pension benefits or your Social Security. But why leave it to chance? Why leave your future at the whim of another person? And, there are many politicians talking about cutting back on the debt. The easiest way to do it is, of course, to cut back on Social Security, which means cutting back on your safety net. So we really have to be concerned and think very deeply about our future and, of course, our retirement. And this is why investing is very important. In the next video, I'll talk more about compounding, how to calculate it. But for now, I hope you guys learned something new, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.